Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of D&D CR Exposed. On today's episode, we are looking at the Roper from the Monster Manual 2025 edition. But before we get into that, let's take care of the business, and that is the tool here. If you'd like to get the tool for yourself to help you make perfectly balanced monsters, following the guidance of these videos, then look at the description below and check out the link for my Ko-fi page where you can get this tool completely for free or donate if you feel so inclined to. Other than that, I also have custom classes, custom subclasses, custom monsters, and a series of other things there. You can also support the channel by becoming a member here at YouTube or backing as a monthly supporter on Ko-fi for as little as $1 a month, where you'll get early access to videos and other behind the scenes information of what I'm working on, results of these things, and so on and so forth. Also, you can like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos with your friends because that also helps me out greatly. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the Roper here, this crazy large aberration. First, I got to reset the values here, and we will then dive in with an AC of 20, which is really high, I'd say, for a CR5, although, yeah, expected AC should be a 15 for a CR5, so our Roper here is very tanky. After that, we are looking at, what do we got? A large creature, so we'll go ahead and switch this over, and that only messes with the hit points, nothing more than that. 11 hit dice, and then from there, we are going to throw in the stats of 18 strength, 8 dex, 17 con, 7 intellect, 16 wisdom, and 6 charisma. From there, this should be a CR5, and then after that we have a bunch of skills area stuff that doesn't make an impact on our monster, and we can skip down to the traits and go further down from there. We have spider climb. This isn't going to impact our monster, so we can skip the traits area and we can just go right to the action section. Multi-attack here, the Roper makes 2 tentacle attacks, uses reel, and makes 2 bite attacks. So we have 5 attacks going on here, potentially all at once, which is wild. Now, of course, this may not happen all in one go. The bite doesn't necessarily happen unless the targets have been reeled in, so we need to kind of think about that at first of, our targets may not necessarily be right within melee range, although with the tentacles reel attack and moving a creature up to 30 feet, more than likely we're going to get them anyways. So I'll say for round 1, because our tentacles reach is up to 60 feet, which is insanely far, it's possible that our Roper will need at least round 2 before we can start doing a bite attack. So from there, let's start throwing in some stuff. Now, our attack bonuses are going to be 7s. So our 7 is coming from our strength modifier, which is good to see. And we can just go ahead and throw in that attack bonus there. From there, our bite damage is going to be 17.5 for the bite attack because we have an odd number of dice. And then from there, we have our tentacle. And the tentacle has the grappled condition, escape check of a 14, and the target has the poison condition until the grapple ends. Wow, is that new? I don't normally use Ropers. I've fought against one, but beyond that, I haven't seen them in actual combat myself. So we'll go ahead and throw in the poisoned condition here, which we can use stench from the troglodyte, which does the same exact thing. And then from there, we have the reel, and the Roper pulls each creature. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I missed one thing here. We'll go back to the tentacle because the tentacle can be damaged, freeing a creature that is grappled. Yeah, damage. All right, so nothing really important there. And then we have the reel attack. So primarily we are focusing on the bite attack. The bite is what's going to be doing the heavy lifting here. The tentacle is just set to use, just to pull in the monsters here. How many tentacles and the target? Oh, okay, so we can have upwards of 6 creatures grappled with a tentacle. All right, sounds good. Well, who knows? Maybe there will be creatures. All right, we're just going to do best case scenario here, like is the usual, and we're going to go ahead and say our attack times 2 for our multi-attack, and that's pretty much all we need to worry about, really. We do have the grappled condition, which we're going to add in here as well. The grappled comes from constrict, like the giant constrictor here, which means creatures that are restrained and or grappled as part of the attack get a +1 effective AC bonus for the monster itself. And then from there, we just have the two attacks. So let's see here. If we get all 3 rounds of combat with 2 bite attacks, we're technically a little high. So let's see what happens if we reduce this to 2 rounds of combat instead of 3. So first round, we're probably guessing that our roper doesn't get the 2 bite attacks off. And then rounds 2 and 3, we do get the bites off. Let's see what happens here. Okay, now we have a CR5. So this is likely what D&D was expecting for the roper. More than likely, the targets are going to be out of range at first for the bite attack because our bite has to be within 5 feet. And the reel only moves creatures 30 feet. So anywhere between 35 to 60 feet, we need 2 rounds to reel in a target. And that's probably because the characters are fighting and struggling and reducing the movement of the reach by half that amount. So from there, like I said before, we're going to reel in the first round. We're going to grapple poison, and then we reel them in, and then on round 2 we can reel again because we can do that once, and we can start doing 2 bite attacks, and then on the next round we can reel in another target, but we're only moving 1 target at a time. We can have a whole bunch of creatures grappled with the tentacles, but we can only move 1. So the roper is going to focus fire on 1 while some of the other creatures can escape until 1 has been reeled all the way in and they start moving in others. So we're going to kind of see this back and forth of like a seesaw effect here potentially. So while 1 is being bitten, another one's being reeled in, so on and so forth. So as long as you attack your monsters beforehand, we have a CR5, which is proper, and you aren't supposed to be attacking on round 1. If you do wait somehow and the targets are close enough on the first round, maybe, you know, a barbarian charges in and the roper can grab the barbarian that's within 30 feet and then they reel in to do 2 bites, then we're looking at a CR6. So we're at this weird area of between bouncing back and forth. Maybe it's best in the interests of the GM to kind of hold off on attacking on the first round, considering that we're expecting a CR5, but you know, who knows what happens. Maybe you're able to get that first round off, get the 2 bites on round 1, the characters free themselves, are able to back up, and then round 2 you don't get a bite off. So, you know, try this at your own risk. You could potentially wait on round 3 and not do the attack if something happens like that. It all kind of, you have to wait to see what happens. You know, your dice rolls may vary. Alright everyone, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Monster Manual 2025 Roper, and I will see you in the next one.